What is going on, everyone? My name is Rodney. Hopefully you already knew that, but if you didn't, welcome. This is a channel where I talk about movies and trailers and do movie reviews, movie news, maybe a reaction, we'll see what happens. For those of you who do watch me, and if you do, thank you for coming back and watching another video. This is a new wall. I'm not going to call it a new studio because this is just a room. There's no crazy lights, there's no crazy camera, it's just me and you, the viewer and the speaker, talking about what we love. Now, I know I haven't done a video in a week, and I will have some reviews coming maybe later tonight or tomorrow, depending on how fast I can edit it. But this video is going to be serious. It's problems with fans of movies today, and not just fans of movies, but people who are fans of specific franchises. Oh boy. Now, right off the bat, people may watch this video and think that I'm not a Star Wars fan because I'm saying the things that I'm about to say, or I'm not a DC fan, or a Marvel fan, or a Harry Potter fan. I love all kinds of movies, even scary movies. And my cousins will be happy to know I like scary movies now because I've been man enough to see them. However, there is a problem, and it needs to be addressed. And I'm not the first person to say it, and hopefully I won't be. Actually, you know what? I hope I am the last person to say it, because that means one of two things. People gave up, or, the problem went away. And that problem is fandom. Fandom in general. And fandom is you feeling more than just enjoyment about a franchise or a movie. It's you loving that movie with all your heart, having the memorabilia, diving deeper into the movie, looking at the Wikipedias and the comics or the books or wherever they came from, and loving that with all your heart. And with fandom comes heightened expectation. Walking into, Fantastic Beasts 2, I really have high expectations for that. Although I didn't love the first Fantastic Beast, it's still really fun, and it's in the Harry Potter universe. It's something we all love. Now, recently, well, not recently, over, I guess 6 months, almost. 6 months, yeah. The Last Jedi came out, and you saw the critic reviews, and everybody seemed to love this movie. People were saying it's The Empire Strikes Back, but it's better, they've done it. Rian Johnson, thank you. And I was like, yes, perfect. And then I saw the movie with my friends, and I said, oh my God, that is not what I expected at all. And I had to watch it again and again. And I turned into a huge Rian Johnson fan. I really loved that movie. But then this group of people started to build. These people that did not like The Last Jedi, that hated The Last Jedi, that said, if you like this movie, then you're not a Star Wars fan, you're not a human being, you shouldn't exist. And that's the problem. Now, there are also people that say, if you don't like this movie, that you're not a Star Wars fan. And that's ridiculous, guys. At the end of the day, it's moving pictures. It's just a movie. I love Star Wars with all my heart, but at the end of the day, these are people making a movie. If I see a movie and I call it a freaking stink bomb and I say it sucks, it's funny, but at the end of the day, I don't like going into a movie, leaving the movie, and hating the movie because people spend a lot of time and effort on this movie. A lot of money was spent, a lot of jobs, all those credits, the credits that roll down. I'm making fun of every one of those people when I say this movie stinks. And the production assistant, it's not their fault, but I'm saying that the movie's bad, so people's feelings are going to get hurt. Now, who am I? I'm not Stuckman, I'm not Siskel and Ebert, I'm not certified on Rotten Tomatoes, but I have a voice, and if one person sees this and it rubs them the wrong way, I'm sorry, but this is just my thoughts on it. There is a problem with extremists from both sides, and I will get to other franchises in a second, but there's extremists on the good side and the bad side that are butting heads, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop because it's ruining, everybody else's enjoyment of the movie. I've said this in other videos. When people bring up The Last Jedi, I get really nervous to talk about it because I'm afraid that if I say something, people are going to jump on me and say, no, this is the way you should feel. And that's crazy. If there's one thing I hate in this world, it's people telling me the way I should feel, not just about movies, about music, about TV shows, about my test, about, the food that I'm eating. If people say, you should like this because this is what you like, No, I should like it because it's who I am. It's what I want to like. Kelly Marie Tran, the actress who plays Rose in The Last Jedi, deleted all the posts on her Instagram because of the harassment she was getting for the character of Rose. Now, I've said from the beginning of The Last Jedi, I do not mind the character of Rose. I don't necessarily buy into the love angle, but I don't think that Finn was buying into it either. I don't think he felt that kiss the way she did. Now, is that just headcanon? Is that just me tying up loose ends so the problem goes away? Maybe. We'll see what JJ does. But, you know, this is like her first big movie, and she did the best she could do. Her performance was really good. If you have a problem with the character of Rose, that's on the writers of the movie. It's not her fault. And the fact that she, a normal person just like me and you, has to delete her Instagram because people have been harassing her about how they hate the character of Rose, that's unbelievable. That has to stop. Now again, you know, people will see this and say, you know, well, who am I to say that? I'm just someone trying to look out for the people who, you know, who can't handle it. And maybe she's had problems like this in the past. Maybe she was bullied in high school. I'm just making all this up. I have no idea. I don't know her. She doesn't know me. But something like that is unbelievable when it comes to a movie. It's supposed to entertain you. And if it doesn't, you move on and you see the next one or you don't. That's why Solo, I think, is struggling. Not just the fact that there was a trailer that came out 2 months before the movie came out, as opposed to a year, but the fact that there was this group of people who hated The Last Jedi, and they wanted so loudly to tell you how much they hated it and how much it ruined their lives, that people said, you know what? They're right. I'm not going to see Solo. And that's a shame because Solo does not deserve to be considered a flop. And neither does Justice League. Which brings me to DC and Marvel. There are people on both sides again who just love to compare things. DC fans say, see, Marvel, you can't do this. And Marvel fans say, watch this. We do it, and we do it 10 times better. At the end of the day, if the Justice League movie comes out and it explodes and it makes $1 billion, that's good for Marvel. Because there's casual fans out there who say, oh, superhero movie, that made a lot of money. I'm going to go see the next one. And that happens to be a Marvel movie. Or that happens to be a DC movie. There's a lot of people who do not care about DC and Marvel. So if one superhero movie does good, the next one is bound to do good. That's just the way it is. That's how the business works. The Last Jedi, it was a box office success. But at the end of the day, the fan score on Rotten Tomatoes is 47. So Solo suffers because of it. And now I think Lucasfilm is running through the dumpster fire thinking, what do we do to please all the fans? And I'm sorry, but you're never going to please all the fans. Now, the people that are rising from the ashes and tweeting things without any repercussion because nobody knows who they are, that's the problem. The problem is the internet, the reason you are watching me, the reason I'm speaking to you is the problem. Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, Reddit, Instagram, these things were not around when the prequels came out. Not everybody, the majority of Star Wars fans say the stories that they were telling in the prequels were fine, but the execution of George Lucas directing and the acting was not good. Now, when I grew up with the prequels, I liked those movies. They were fun movies, and I didn't have a place to read how bad they were. I didn't have everything wrong with. I didn't have Twitter. I didn't have Rotten Tomatoes. So when you grow up and you see, I didn't like that as much as I did when I was a kid because of the fact that you know, your mind grows, you develop, opinions on things, that's fine. If the prequels came out today, if The Phantom Menace came out today, and Jar Jar Binks was around in the area of social media, do you know how offended and upset the actor who portrayed that would be now? He's hurt now because of the things people are saying 10, 12, 15 years later about that movie. Could you imagine what that would do to him now? I truly believe that Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith may have not have even been created because of the way people would have reacted to The Phantom Menace. There was a time after the prequels where we said, well, 2005 Revenge of the Sith, that's the last time we'll ever see a lightsaber. That's the last time we'll ever see the Force. And they brought it back. And whether or not you like or hate these movies, you have to appreciate the fact that we have new Star Wars, that we have new Fantastic Beasts, that we have new DC and Marvel movies coming out all the time, and this behavior has to stop. Yeah, it's unfortunate that people have to act this way, and people will continue until the internet explodes. People can type on social media and have no consequences for their actions. You could only hit the block button so many times before you lose your mind. Rian Johnson now is starting to tweet at people, not only apologizing but defending the movie that he made, and he shouldn't have to do that because at the end of the day he did his job. He made Lucasfilm a ton of money. If people didn't like this movie, it wouldn't have made $220 million on its opening freaking weekend. It wouldn't have made over $1 billion if people hated this movie. Because at the end of the day, people are not seeing Solo over and over again. People did see The Last Jedi over and over and over again. And it's the small group of people that are pretending that this movie is ruining lives. When at the end of the day, if Star Wars is the basis of whether or not you live or die or have a successful life and a terrible life, something's wrong. Something's wrong, man. You gotta check yourself at the door. Check yourself before you take that ticket stub and rip it in half. Walk right into Theater 7 because something is wrong. That's just the way I see it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sorry that this one had to be a little bit serious, but you know, I just had to get that off my chest. If you like what you see here, please feel free to subscribe and hit that little bell to get the notifications. It is free after all. Thank you so much for watching. No charge to you. Have a good day, or night, or morning, wherever you are. Have a good something.